Meet Jack, the everyday professor. Jack is a professor, not a stuffy old professor who drones on about ancient history. He's a modern professor, one who embraces technology and loves a good debate. He's passionate about his students and loves seeing their minds come alive with new ideas. But like anyone juggling a million things, sometimes life throws him a curveball, or two. Jack thrives on the energy of the classroom. He loves engaging his students in lively discussions, sparking their curiosity, and watching them connect the dots. But teaching from home during the pandemic brought a whole new set of challenges. Gone were the days of face-to-face interactions, replaced by the sometimes awkward world of virtual classrooms. Still, Jack persevered. He found new ways to connect, new ways to inspire. He learned to navigate the world of mute buttons, internet glitches, and the occasional cat walking across the keyboard. He adapted as any good professor and human being does. But little did he know, the real adventure was about to begin. The alarm clock blares, signaling the start of another hectic day. Jack stumbles out of bed, the aroma of coffee already wafting from the kitchen. He's a man on a mission. Get himself ready, get the kids ready, and conquer the day. Easier said than done, some might say. The kitchen is a symphony of chaos. Pans clatter, the toaster pops, and the dog barks impatiently for his breakfast. Jack navigates the obstacle course of school bags and scattered shoes, his mind already racing through the day's to-do list.
Morning, love. Big debate in class today?
Jack takes a long sip of coffee, the caffeine jolting him to life.
The biggest. Should be interesting.
The kids, two bundles of energy and teenage angst, finally emerge, their hair still tousled from sleep. They grumble about homework and early mornings, their complaints a familiar soundtrack to Jack's life. Despite the chaos, there's a warmth to their morning ritual. The shared breakfast, the hurried goodbyes, the gentle reminders to be kind and do their best. It's these small moments, these fleeting glimpses of normalcy, that remind Jack why he embraces the craziness. But just as the semblance of order seems within reach, a new element of chaos enters the fray.
Good morning, everyone. I thought I'd surprise you all with my famous blueberry pancakes.
Jack exchanges an amused glance with Rachel. He loves his mother-in-law dearly, but sometimes, just sometimes, her surprises are more challenging than charming. And so, with a deep breath and a fortifying sip of coffee, Jack dives headfirst into the day, knowing that with his family by his side, he can handle anything. The breakfast dishes are piled high, a testament to the morning's frenzy. Jack surveys the kitchen, a mixture of amusement and exhaustion on his face. He loves his family dearly, but sometimes their combined energy feels like a force of nature he can barely contain. The kids, fueled by cereal and teenage enthusiasm, are engaged in a lively debate of their own. The topic? The merits of wearing pajamas to their hybrid classes versus the absolute necessity of changing into actual clothes. Jack stifles a laugh. Some things never change. His mother-in-law, bless her heart, is attempting to help. She's armed with a feather duster and a zeal that's both admirable and slightly terrifying.
But it needs to be done, dear. A clean house is a happy house, you know.
Jack watches as she swats at a cobweb in the corner, her aim a little off, causing a small avalanche of dust to rain down on the counter below.
Mom, maybe we can tackle the dusting another time.
Jack sighs inwardly. He loves her dearly, but sometimes her logic defies explanation. Section 2. Tech, Triumphs and Trials. The Asynchronous Classroom. Jack retreats to the sanctuary of his home office. It's his haven, a space where books line the shelves, papers cover his desk in an organized chaos, and the faint scent of old parchment and coffee lingers in the air. This is where the magic happens, where lectures are born, and where the world outside fades away. He settles into his chair, the familiar creak a comforting sound. Today's mission: record his asynchronous lecture on the American Revolution. He adjusts his microphone, checks his lighting, and takes a deep breath. Showtime. He launches into his lecture, his voice filled with passion as he describes the events that shaped a nation. He talks about the Boston Tea Party, the Declaration of Independence, and the courage of those who fought for freedom. He tries to imagine the faces of his students on the other side of the screen, picturing their reactions, their questions, their moments of aha. He finishes the recording, feeling that familiar sense of accomplishment. It's not the same as being in a classroom, surrounded by the energy of his students, but it's something. It's a connection, a way to share his love of history with the world. Section 3. A professor's nemesis, the dreaded rejection email. Just as Jack leans back in his chair, a sense of contentment washing over him, a notification pops up on his computer screen. It's an email from the academic journal where he submitted his latest research paper. He clicks on it, his heart pounding with a mixture of hope and dread. The first few lines are a blur. He skims through the usual pleasantries, his eyes searching for the verdict, and then he sees it. "We regret to inform you." The words jump out at him, each one a tiny dagger piercing his excitement. His paper has been rejected. Disappointment washes over him like a cold shower. He'd poured his heart and soul into that paper, spending countless hours researching, writing, and revising. He'd believed in it, had felt that familiar thrill of discovery with every new source, every insightful connection. Rejection is an inevitable part of academic life, a bitter pill that never gets easier to swallow. Jack knows this, but the sting of disappointment lingers. He closes the laptop, deciding he needs a break from the digital world. He steps away from his desk, the weight of the rejection settling in his stomach like a leaden weight. Section 4. The calm in the storm, Rachel's steady hand. Just as Jack's frustration peaks, the sound of the front door opening draws him from his office. Rachel's home, a welcome burst of energy and warmth. He watches as she sheds her work bag and keys on the entryway table, her movements infused with a quiet grace that never fails to amaze him.
"How was your day, love?" she asks, her voice filled with genuine interest.
She has a way of making him feel seen, heard, understood, even when he doesn't have the words to express what he's feeling. He hesitates, unsure how to articulate the roller coaster of emotions he's experiencing. The excitement of teaching, the disappointment of rejection, the constant juggle of work and family life, it all feels a bit overwhelming at times. "Jack, it's been eventful," he finally replies, a wry smile tugging at his lips. "How about you? How was the corporate world today?" He knows she thrives in her fast-paced job, her sharp mind and calm demeanor a perfect fit for the challenges she faces. And as Rachel launches into a story about a challenging client and a last-minute presentation, Jack feels a sense of calm settle over him. He's not alone in this crazy, beautiful, messy thing called life. He has Rachel, his rock, his confidant, his partner in crime. And together, they can handle anything. The clock strikes 1, and Jack takes his position in front of his computer screen. He's a conductor about to lead an orchestra, only his instruments are the minds of his students, and the music they make is the sound of ideas clashing and harmonizing. He's chosen a particularly contentious topic for today's debate, the Electoral College. It's a subject guaranteed to elicit strong opinions, and he's eager to see how his students will navigate the complexities of the issue. "All right, everyone," Jack says, his voice projecting enthusiasm and a hint of mischief. Today, we wade into the great debate about the Electoral College. Be prepared to defend your positions, challenge your assumptions, and maybe even change your minds. Let the games begin. The chat window explodes with activity. Students fire off greetings, jokes, and a few nervous emojis. Jack smiles. They might be miles apart, connected only by the invisible threads of the internet. But in this virtual space, they are a community, united by their shared love of learning. As the debate heats up, Jack finds himself playing the role of referee, diplomat, and stand-up comedian all rolled into one. He fields questions, clarifies arguments, and gently guides the discussion away from the brink of chaos whenever things get a little too heated. He's impressed by the passion and eloquence his students bring to the table. They've clearly done their research, their arguments peppered with historical facts, current events, and a healthy dose of youthful idealism. But with passion comes the potential for things to go off the rails. Jack watches as two students, their faces flushed with the heat of the moment, engage in a spirited back and forth that threatens to devolve into a shouting match. "Okay, team," Jack interjects, his tone firm but lighthearted. "Remember, we're here to engage in a respectful exchange of ideas, not to reenact the Hamilton-Burr duel. Let's take a deep breath and remember our debate etiquette." His words, delivered with a twinkle in his eye, diffuse the tension, and the students break into laughter. Just when Jack feels like he's found his groove, technology throws him a curveball. The internet connection, which had been holding steady all afternoon, decides to stage a dramatic protest. Students' faces freeze mid-sentence, their voices reduced to a chorus of robotic stutters. "Oh, the joys of the digital age," Jack mutters under his breath, his smile strained. He tries to troubleshoot the problem, his fingers flying across the keyboard as he fiddles with settings and refreshes pages. "Can anyone still hear me?" he asks, his voice echoing into the digital void. A few students respond with thumbs-up emojis while others type frantic messages in the chat window. Jack sighs. It seems like this is going to be one of those days. He tries to soldier on, hoping against hope that the connection will magically resolve itself. But the glitches persist, disrupting the flow of the debate and testing his patience. He can feel a headache building behind his eyes. As the debate wraps up, Jack is left feeling more exhausted than exhilarated. He loves teaching, he truly does. But sometimes the challenges of the virtual classroom feel insurmountable. He longs for the days of face-to-face interactions, for the energy of a room buzzing with ideas. He closes his laptop, the glow of the screen replaced by the soft light of his office lamp. He needs a break, a moment to regroup before facing the whirlwind of family life that awaits him outside his office door. He reaches for his phone, his thumb hovering over Rachel's name. He needs to hear her voice, her calming presence a soothing balm to his frayed nerves. He presses the call button, and as the phone rings, he closes his eyes, picturing her warm smile, the way her laughter always seems to chase away his worries.
"Hey, love, how was the great debate?" "Jack, it was something."
Jack replies, a tired chuckle escaping his lips. And as he launches into a story about technical difficulties, passionate arguments, and the enduring challenges of teaching in a pandemic, he feels a wave of gratitude wash over him. He might not have all the answers, but he has Rachel, his rock, his confidant, his partner in crime, and together they can handle anything. The aroma of Rachel's famous lasagna wafts from the kitchen, a siren song calling Jack back to the land of the living. He emerges from his office, blinking in the warm light of the dining room, where the familiar chaos of dinner time awaits. The kids are engaged in a heated debate of their own, their voices rising and falling in a symphony of teenage angst. The topic this time? The merits of pineapple on pizza, a subject apparently worthy of a UN summit in their world. His mother-in-law, bless her soul, is attempting to set the table, her movements a study in controlled chaos. She navigates the room with the grace of a seasoned waiter, balancing plates, silverware, and a pitcher of iced tea with a dexterity that belies her years. "Jack, careful, Mom. You're braver than a soldier in a battlefield out there."
Nonsense, dear. A little excitement never hurt anyone.
As the last of the lasagna disappears and the dinner plates are cleared, Rachel, ever the peacemaker, suggests a family game night. It's her secret weapon, a surefire way to diffuse tension, ignite laughter, and remind everyone that despite their differences, they are a team. The kids, their earlier bickering forgotten, erupt in cheers. Board games are a sacred ritual in their household, a chance to unleash their competitive spirits, test their knowledge, and engage in some good-natured trash talk. Jack watches as his eldest daughter, her brow furrowed in concentration, expertly maneuvers her way around the game board, her competitive spirit a force to be reckoned with. His youngest, meanwhile, delights in playing the role of the mischievous saboteur, her infectious laughter filling the room. Even his mother-in-law gets caught up in the excitement, her initial skepticism giving way to a fierce determination to win. She might not understand all the rules, but she plays with the heart of a champion, her unexpected moves keeping everyone on their toes. As the game reaches its climax, Jack's mother-in-law, emboldened by a string of lucky rolls, leans back in her chair, a mischievous twinkle in her eye.
You know, this reminds me of the time Jack tried to build a treehouse for his little brother.
Jack groans inwardly. This is how it always starts. His mother-in-law has an uncanny ability to unearth the most embarrassing stories from his past, tales he'd rather forget ever happened. The story that follows is a classic tale of youthful ambition gone awry, involving a rickety platform, a misplaced hammer, and a very surprised squirrel. The kids erupt in laughter, their eyes wide with delight. Even Rachel, who's heard the story countless times before, can't help but chuckle. Jack, despite his initial embarrassment, finds himself laughing along with them. There's something comforting about these shared stories, these glimpses into his past that remind him of where he came from and how far he's come. As the laughter subsides and the kids head off to bed, their faces flushed with exhaustion and contentment, Jack finds himself alone with Rachel, the remnants of the game scattered around them. He leans back on the couch, a contented sigh escaping his lips. It's been a long day, a roller coaster of emotions and challenges, but as he looks around the room at the evidence of his family's laughter and love, he wouldn't trade it for the world.
Thank you.
He whispers, reaching for Rachel's hand, his fingers intertwining with hers.
For what?
She asks, her eyes filled with love and understanding. Jack, for everything. For the chaos, for the laughter, for reminding me what truly matters. Rachel squeezes his hand, her touch a silent promise of love and support.
We're a team, remember? We face the storms together and we celebrate the sunshine together.
And as Jack leans in to kiss her, the weight of the day melting away, he knows she's right. Life might be a chaotic balancing act, but with Rachel by his side, he's ready to face whatever challenges come his way. The phone rings, its insistent trilling a stark contrast to the quiet hum of Rachel's office. She glances at the caller ID, a smile softening her features. Jack. Her heart skips a beat. It's not often he calls during the workday.
Hey, you.
She answers, her voice warm and inviting, a stark contrast to the brisk, professional tone she reserves for work calls.
Or should I say, hey, Professor Chaos?
She teases, her voice laced with affection and amusement. She can picture him vividly, hair askew, a hint of desperation in his eyes as he navigates the minefield of online teaching. He launches into a breathless account of the day's technological mishaps, the frozen screens, the robotic voices, the sheer exhaustion of trying to wrangle a classroom full of disembodied voices into a cohesive learning experience. Jack, it's like herding cats. Only the cats are teenagers with access to high-speed internet and an endless supply of memes.
Juggling act, managing crises and offering support.
Rachel listens patiently, nodding in understanding even though he can't see her. She's a master of multitasking, juggling the demands of her high-powered job with the needs of her family, all while maintaining an air of effortless grace. She offers words of encouragement, practical advice, and the occasional lighthearted joke to break the tension.
Remember that time you accidentally showed the class a video of our dog wearing a tutu instead of the documentary on the French Revolution?
She asks, her voice twinkling with amusement.
Now that was chaos. This is just a minor technical blip.
She can practically hear him smiling through the phone. She knows just what to say to lighten the mood, to remind him that even in the midst of chaos, there's always room for laughter.
Virtual reality check, bridging the distance with empathy.
But beneath the humor, Rachel understands the deeper challenges Jack faces. She knows how much he thrives on the energy of the classroom, the give and take of face-to-face interactions, the spark of connection that ignites when a student grasps a new concept. She acknowledges the emotional toll of teaching in a virtual world, the fatigue of staring at a screen for hours on end, the sense of isolation that comes from being physically distanced from students.
It's not easy, honey, but you're making a difference. You're connecting with those kids, even if it's through a screen. They need you now more than ever.
Her words are a lifeline, a reminder that his work matters, that even in the face of unprecedented challenges, he is making a difference in the lives of his students.
Teamwork makes the dream work, finding strength in shared experiences.
As Jack finishes recounting his day, his voice calmer now, Rachel can sense the weight lifting from his shoulders. He's not alone in this. They are in this together, partners in the grand adventure of navigating life's unexpected twists and turns.
We'll celebrate tonight. Pizza, your choice of toppings, even pineapple if you're feeling adventurous.
He laughs, a genuine, heartfelt sound that warms her from the inside out.
You're on, but only because you make the best pineapple pizza in town.
They hang up a few minutes later, but the warmth of their conversation lingers, a reminder that even in the midst of chaos and uncertainty, their connection remains a constant, a source of strength and unwavering support. They are a team, facing the challenges and celebrating the triumphs of life. One chaotic, hilarious, heartwarming day at a time. The dining room table, usually a pristine island of calm in the sea of their busy lives, resembled a shipwreck this evening. A stray napkin clung precariously to the edge of the table, threatening to surrender to the pull of gravity at any moment. A lone, forgotten green bean lay abandoned beside a half-eaten chicken leg, a testament to their youngest's fickle appetite. Jack surveyed the scene with a mixture of amusement and exhaustion. The day, a whirlwind of technological mishaps, academic disappointments, and the ever-present chaos of family life, had finally taken its toll. Jack, as narrator. "So, how was everyone's day?" His question was met with a chorus of responses, each one vying for his attention.
Grunts and non-committal, his attention firmly fixed on the book in his hands.
Rachel, ever the picture of calm amidst the storm, smiled across the table at him, her eyes reflecting a shared understanding of the beautiful chaos that was their family. As if on cue, Rachel, sensing the need for a change of pace, rose from her chair.
Who's up for a game night?
The effect was immediate. Their youngest, his book momentarily forgotten, let out a whoop of excitement. Their eldest, her gaming saga abruptly paused, grinned, her eyes sparkling with competitive fire. Even Jack's mother-in-law, who had been quietly observing the proceedings with an air of bemused detachment, perked up at the mention of games.
I believe I could be persuaded to participate in a rousing game of Scrabble.
Jack retrieved their well-worn Scrabble board from the cupboard, its cardboard box softened with age and countless game nights. He placed it on the coffee table, the familiar weight a comforting anchor in the unpredictable sea of their lives.
Speaking of words, this reminds me of the time Jack attempted to make pancakes for his entire Boy Scout troop.
Jack groaned inwardly. He knew that tone, that mischievous lilt in her voice. His mother-in-law, a master storyteller with an uncanny knack for unearthing the most embarrassing moments of his past, was about to launch into one of her legendary tales.
There were burnt pancakes, a kitchen covered in flour, and a very confused troop leader wondering why his breakfast tasted suspiciously like charcoal.
The kids, their eyes wide with amusement, hung on to her every word, their laughter echoing through the room. Even Rachel, who had heard the story countless times before, couldn't suppress a smile. Jack, caught between amusement and mortification, buried his face in his hands. But not before catching a glimpse of the look of pure joy on his children's faces. And in that moment, he realized that even the most embarrassing moments could become cherished memories when shared with the people you loved. As the night drew to a close, the Scrabble board put away, and the kids safely tucked into bed, Jack found himself alone with Rachel in the quiet of their living room. The remnants of the day, the chaos, the laughter, the shared stories seemed to linger in the air, a comforting reminder of the life they had built together. He poured them both a glass of wine, the rich ruby liquid catching the soft glow of the lamplight. He handed Rachel her glass, their fingers brushing, a silent exchange of warmth and understanding.
Another day, another adventure.
Rachel smiled, her eyes reflecting a love that ran deeper than words.
To adventures and to the crazy, beautiful chaos that binds us together.
And as they sipped their wine, the silence punctuated by the soft crackle of the fireplace and the gentle rhythm of their breathing, Jack felt a profound sense of gratitude wash over him. For Rachel, his rock, his confidant, his partner in crime. For their children, their laughter, their energy, their unwavering ability to turn even the most ordinary day into an adventure. And for the quiet moments like these, where amidst the chaos of their lives, they found solace and strength in the enduring power of love and family. Later that night, as the house settled into a comfortable silence, Jack found himself drawn to his home office. The day's events, a whirlwind of virtual classrooms, technological mishaps, and the heartwarming chaos of family life, replayed in his mind like a film on a loop. He settled into his desk chair, the familiar creak a comforting sound in the stillness. He glanced around the room, his sanctuary, his haven from the outside world. Bookshelves lined the walls, their titles a testament to his love of history, literature, and the endless pursuit of knowledge. A vintage globe sat atop a stack of papers on his desk, a reminder of the vastness of the world and the interconnectedness of humanity. He thought about his students, their faces illuminated by the glow of their computer screens, their voices echoing through the digital void. He'd chosen a challenging path, teaching in a time of unprecedented disruption and uncertainty. But in their eyes, he saw a thirst for knowledge, a hunger for connection, a glimmer of hope for the future. He thought about his family, their laughter, their bickering, their unwavering ability to turn even the most ordinary day into an adventure. They were his anchor, his compass, his reason for embracing the beautiful chaos of it all. As he reached for a well-worn copy of Walden, a passage from Thoreau's words jumped out at him. "I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived." Jack closed the book, the words resonating deep within him. He might not be living in a secluded cabin in the woods, but he was striving to live deliberately, to embrace the essential facts of his life. The love of his family, the passion for his work, the joy of connecting with others, even through the limitations of a computer screen. He thought about Rachel, her unwavering love and support, her ability to find humor in the most challenging situations. She was his rock, his confidant, his partner in the grand adventure of life. He thought about his children, their unique personalities, their boundless energy, their ability to challenge and inspire him in equal measure. They were his legacy, his contribution to the world, a testament to the enduring power of love and family. And in that moment, surrounded by the tangible evidence of his life's work and the intangible bonds of love that connected him to those who mattered most, Jack realized that the chaos wasn't something to be feared or avoided. It was simply the rhythm of life, the ebb and flow of experiences that shaped them, defined them, and ultimately made them who they were. He was a professor, a husband, a father, a man navigating the complexities of life with a sense of humor, a thirst for knowledge, and a heart full of love. And that, he decided, was more than enough.